If you've been waiting for the right time to invest in real estate, there is no better time than right now. You don't need to be rich, you don't need to have perfect credit, and you definitely don't need to own a home yet. You just need to meet 6 basic qualifications. That is the difference between you building a passive income portfolio and you just staying still. If you check all 6 boxes, you can start building passive income that pays you every single month that is backed by the government. Let's get into it. Before we dive into questions, let's get one thing straight. There is no perfect time to start investing. Most people will sit on the sidelines waiting for prices to drop, interest rates to change, their income to go up. But the truth is, the longer you wait, the harder it gets. Meanwhile, people who started 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even just with average deals, are now making $1,200 to $1,400 a month for a home they bought for $90,000. So, let's find out if you're ready to be one of them. This is the first and most important question. Do you actually have the time to take this seriously? Because this isn't some type of like set it and forget it play. This also isn't some 3x in a year type of crypto scheme. You will need at least 1 hour a day during the buying phase. So that's your time to find deals, run calculations, talk to lenders, get inspections done, and learn how the process works. And once the property is rented, then it's mostly hands off. If you end up self-managing it with software like I do for most of my properties, it'll take about an hour a week of your time. And if you're hiring property management, then it's pretty much zero. But if you plan to do BRRRR deals, so buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat, then it'll take probably double the amount of time that a turnkey deal would take, but your returns could double or triple and you can recycle all of your cash. So if you can honestly say, yeah, I can dedicate 1 focused hour a day to changing my financial future, then that is your first yes. Second question, are you still trading time for income? So if you have a job, a small business, or you're freelancing, you already know what I'm talking about. You only get paid when you work. If you stop working, the money stops. And that's the trap, right? Trading your time for money. You work 8 hours a day, that made you $300. If you work 7 hours a day, you now make $240, for example. And real estate, specifically Section 8, completely flips that script around. You work hard once to find the deal, to fund the deal, get it rented, get it approved, and after that, the rent hits your account like clockwork because it is backed by the government. Whether you work or not, all you really need to do is pass inspections. So if you are tired of trading time for money and you want to make your money start working for you, then that is yes to number 2. And if this is clicking for you and you're starting to realize that this is actually possible for you, you can fast track your way to success by not doing it alone. Which is why I made a completely free school community, and we have over 1,300 investors inside right now. You can get access to my live weekly classes, my deal breakdowns, and people who are closing their 1st or 4th or 5th or 10th property with Section 8 every single month. It is completely free. Click the link in the description to join. Now, question 3 might sound a little bit funny, but it is serious. Can you use basic technology? Because today, real estate investing is 90% online. In fact, there are plenty of our homes that we have never even seen in person before. You will find these deals on Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. You'll get loan quotes online by filling out their online forms. You will sign documents electronically. You can screen and manage tenants using something like RentSpree and Tenant Cloud. If you send an email, use Google Drive, and can check your phone really, then you can manage rentals anywhere, even if you're out of state or out of country. And no, you don't have to be techie, right? You just have to be willing to learn and in general, just know basic internet skills. So if that is you, then that is your third yes. Next, do you actually know what your goal is? Most beginners jump in without a plan at all. They say, you know, I want passive income, but they don't define how much passive income they want, by when they want it, or how they will get to that goal. Section 8 investing gives you what I believe to be a simple path. You start with 1 property that's $80,000 or $90,000. It'll rent for $1,200 to $1,400 a month with guaranteed payments. Then you can scale to 2, 3, 5, 20 doors using the exact same blueprint. You can either do the snowball method, where you just use the income coming in from this 1 property combined with your W-2 or business job, whatever income you have, and then just buy the 2nd and slowly the 3rd and slowly the 4th, continuing saving. Or you can do the BRRRR method, where you do a lot more rehab, but in return you can recycle the cash. So if your goal is to replace, let's say, $5,000 a month in income, then you're going to need, and this is assuming each property nets you about $400 to $500 a month, probably 10 to 12 properties. So if you are clear that you want to build real and predictable cash flow, instead of gambling on market timing or appreciation, then that is yes to question number 4. The 5th question, do you want to replace your income? This one is simple. If you're happy working for someone else forever, cool, then this video isn't really for you. But if you want to eventually replace your 9 to 5 income. You want time and location freedom. If you want money showing up while you're asleep, then Section 8 is one of the fastest and most realistic paths to get there. And I myself started small, right? We started with one property, took about $25,000 from start to finish. We used a DSCR loan, which you don't need to show income statements or pay stubs for. And then we just snowballed that one property into more and more and more and more, and eventually started doing BRRRRs. And the best part is that this income is backed by HUD. So the rent doesn't stop even if another recession happens or COVID 2.0 happens. So if you want to replace your income, not just supplement it, then that is your fifth yes. Now let's talk about the real gatekeeper. Can you afford to buy a house? Most people think you need $100,000 saved and a perfect W-2 job, but that is completely wrong. What you really need is a credit score of at least 680, $25,000 US if you're buying a turnkey house. And by the way, that 25K consists typically of a 20% down payment plus 6 to 7K closing costs, plus a little bit of reserve. Or you'll only need 15 to 20,000 US if you're doing something like a BRRRR strategy where we're going for private money lenders at first. And if you aren't a US citizen, expect 25 to 35% down and a 100K minimum purchase price, and that's really it. Like I mentioned earlier, you can use DSCR loans, which get approved based on the property's ability to pay for itself, AKA is the rent high enough to cover the mortgage? And no, you don't need tax returns, you don't need pay stubs or anything for that strategy. I've had students who would literally close on a house using nothing but an LLC and 2 bank statements and their driver's license. So if you've got decent credit, a little capital, and the drive, then that is your 6th yes. And let me give you a real example with this. Daniel is a mentorship student of mine and he lives in California. He rents, he does not own a home, and he does not have a high-paying job. He is a salesman, but he wanted to get out of the rat race. We ended up finding a property in Detroit for $89,000, did the home inspection and negotiated it down to $84,000. He put about $4,000 into light rehab costs, which mainly consisted of new paint and replacing the carpet in one of the rooms. Anyways, because he's a mentorship student, I helped him pass the inspection the first try, and we got the unit rented through Section 8. Now that house rents for $1,400 every single month, guaranteed. He used a DSCR loan, no W-2s, no tax returns, just proof that the property would be able to cover itself in mortgage costs. Now he's cash flowing over $400 a month, completely passive. That is what happens when you stop waiting and just get in the game. But having clear goals is really just the first step to mastering Section 8 real estate investing. You still need to actually take action, scale, and learn how to reinvest your profits into more and more properties to build a portfolio that makes you thousands of dollars a month completely passive. And that is why I put together a full video where I go over my own portfolio, how I went from $0 to a $1.9 million Section 8 portfolio with as little money as humanly possible. So check out this video on screen where I show you how you can turn that same Section 8 real estate path into your financial freedom. As always, I'm Joseph Khateri. Have a nice day.